We'll start with a story that should not exist in today's 21st century. A 45-year-old man in Afghanistan has married a 6-year-old girl. Yes, a 6-year-old girl. A girl who should be learning how to read, but now is preparing for a wedding. Even the Taliban, yes, the Taliban was reportedly shocked when they first heard about this incident. Well, that has to tell you about the world we're living in today, right? The Taliban are shocked. That's insane. So let's begin with the facts, shall we? The incident took place in Helmand province, southern Afghanistan. A 45-year-old man, already married to 2 women, allegedly paid the girl's father to marry her. The girl was just 6 years old. Those are the facts. And here's a haunting picture of a man and a girl standing side by side, which has gone viral and sparked outrage. Not online, but even among the Afghan officials. They reportedly intervened and arrested both men and the girl's father for this incident. But here's the catch. The charges were not filled. The Taliban simply ruled out the marriage, ruled out the wedding until the girl turns 9 years old. Just let that sink in. The Taliban did not arrest anybody. They just told them, stop. She's 6-year-old. Wait until she turns 9 years old and then you can take her home. It's insane. Since the Taliban returned into power 2021, child marriages have increased by 25% according to UN Women. Childbearing among girls have also increased to 45%. This is not an isolated case. This is a disturbing trend, a really ugly trend. Since the Taliban returned to power in 2021, child marriage has increased by 25% according to UN Women. Childbearing among girls has risen by 45%. Girls being sold into marriage to pay for debts, secure allowance, and simply surviving has also increased. In Helmand, Kandahar, Zabul, all these provinces are under control of the Taliban. These marriages are often undocumented, unregulated, and unpunished. Let's talk about the big picture here, because this story is sensitive and we have to make sure we include every information. Because today in Afghanistan is the only country in the world where girls are banned from secondary school, university, and any form of employment. This is what Malala Yousafzai calls a gender apartheid. Girls are being erased from every single public life. And when they are not allowed to learn, they are married off because apparently to many's eyes in the country, that's what they are good for. And all this is happening in 2025. Now let's talk about what this means for the little girls. A child bride. Well, they are most likely to suffer domestic abuse. They are most likely to die in childbirth. They are most likely to not finish school. And they are most likely to live in poverty for the rest of their life. And the trauma? Yes, it lasts forever. Let's take the case of Pawama Malik, a 9-year-old girl who was sold to a 55-year-old man for an equivalent of 1,600 in land, sheep, and cash. She cried the whole day and night, begging her father to let her go back to school instead. She was eventually rescued by a charity. But how many Pawama are there that we don't know of? And why does this even happen? Well, according to our research, there's 3 reasons why this happened. First one is poverty. Family are desperate. Selling daughters can mean less mouth to feed. Patriarchy. Girls are seen as a burden. Their value is tied to marriage. And the last one is lawlessness. There are no real consequences. The Taliban claim to uphold Islamic value, but they have done little to stop these abuses. And in fact, they've probably made it worse. And when the states turn into blind eye, the circle of course continues. And what is the world doing? Is the world doing enough? The UN has condemned the rise in child marriage. The human rights group are calling for sanction and aid restriction. But on the ground, little has changed. The international community is walking a tightrope, trying to help Afghanis without legitimizing the Taliban. But in progress, millions of girls are being left behind. Now let's talk about receipts, because here on Newsroom, we want to give you the receipts so then you can do your research by yourself. The link is going to be in the description. Because according to Daily Mail, they've confirmed that child marriage, the Taliban intervention, has risen child marriage in Afghanistan. According to Karma Press, provide local detail from Haman and highlights the lack of legal enforcement. And according to UN Women, they documented a 25% rise in child marriage in Afghanistan. These are not rumors, these are facts. A 6-year-old girl was sold into marriage, and the world barely blinking, just moving around like it's normal. This is not just a story about Afghanistan, it's a story about what we tolerate and what we ignore, what we allow to happen in the shadows. And if we can't protect the most vulnerable people today, our children, then what kind of civilization are we? This is not about politics, it's about human rights. If we don't stop this today, it will never stop at all. Because we have the most advanced technology, the most advanced human beings in the world to exist. Still, this is still happening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Baraka and this is Newsroom.